Okay, so I'm going to give you a little demonstration on this 2009 Dodge Grand Caravan here. Basically, the way you're going to operate everything is you got your remotes here. You always make sure the van's unlocked. And then to operate the door and everything, you'll just hit this button here twice. 1, 2. You see the door's going to open up. The van's going to kneel down so that the angle's less steep, and then the ramp's going to come out. And you'll see the ramp van going down, and then the ramp comes out. All of this has all just been tightened up, so it's a little stiff right now. So you'll see you might have to, as it's going along, you'll see you have this button here by the door. You have this button here by this door. You have this button here on the dash, and then you have this button up here that all will do the same thing. It'll just do the opposite of whatever is happened. So like right now, if I push this door, this is going to come up, the door's going to close, and the needle's going to come up. So let's see that. Close itself up. And that adds everything there. Now we're going to open it all back up with this button right here. And it all went back out. Now you'll see you've got 4 straps here, and these are what you want to use to hold the wheelchair. You'll see these are going to rotate. If you need to move them, you'll pull up on this, and then they just slide out. You put them back in. You just kind of line these holes up, and slide till that pops back in. So you'll see when these are all the way in, you just grab them, pull them out, go past where you want to hook to. So you'll see here it's all the way in, because these ratchet and they lock. So to release the lock, you push this red button here, or you just let them go all the way in. So that when they're on a chair, so you have it hooked to a chair, you'll just push that red button and that will release it. Otherwise, you know, it's nice and solid. So what you do is you'll hook these 2 here on the back, and they'll pull themselves tight. They're not real tight, but they're tight enough. And then the ones on the front, and those have a ratchet, so you can tighten them up. You'll see you tighten them up like that. Now these won't come out unless you push this. So it's a 2-handed thing. You got to push this and then pull out. And again, these don't ratchet themselves in. Instead, you ratchet them yourself. You tighten them up. So that's how you tighten these up. So hook these, let them pull themselves tight, and then tighten everything up with the 2 you have up here. So for the seat belt, you'll see it's here. So if you're using the seat belt from this side, you'll hook it up to the one over here. Now you want to make sure that the seat belt is down low on them. You'll see it's adjustable. I have people when I come in, and this seat belt's over here. It's not doing any good. You want to make sure it's down low on their hip, just like it would be if they were sitting in a seat. I tend to hook these up just so they're not sliding around everywhere. You'll see it does have an inverter, so you do have a 110 inverter. To turn that on is up here. This little button way down here. I like to show that to people because they never know where it's at, but that's what turns the inverter on if you want to use it. And everything else, normal Dodge Grand Caravan, nothing really complicated about it. All your owner's manuals in here. You do have actual 2 glove compartments, so you've got where we inspected it and stuff like that in there, but 2 glove compartments there. Now you'll see this is out. Push this button here, and it's all just going to come in. So you've got all those ways to do it. The van itself, now the van has hand controls. I didn't take those off. I know that's not something you need, but these things are $1,500. So, and you can drive, as you'll see, they're not interfering with the pedals at all. So you drive with your feet like you normally would. You don't have to use these. Some people will leave them in and just, you know, get used to not doing them. I have a tendency to hit my knee on them, so I don't like them. If they're in your way, just have Levi take them out. There's literally just a few bolts to take them out and all. But the problem is once you take them out, nobody will put them back in. Levi could take them out and put them back in if you wanted to, but when you get ready to sell the van in the future, if you don't sell it back to me, again, these are worth, at that point, I think the price is up to about $1,800 for a set right now, and no telling what later on. So they do add some value to the van. I didn't want to take them out, throw them away, because once I take them off, I have to throw them away. You can put them back on if you get ready to sell the van. So, you know, again, it's something you might have Levi take off if you just don't like it. I get customers that, you know, they actually like driving with the hand controls. It's just a matter of you do this to do the gas and push forward to do the brakes. So, but again, that's kind of up to you. You do have fog lights and everything to do here. Again, this is again, for that person that, you know, doesn't have use of their legs, they use this to set the emergency brake. Again, nobody uses the emergency brake anymore, so I left it on there. Again, this whole little setup here is about $300. So again, if you want to take it off, it's just 2 bolted, unbolts and comes right off. So again, something Levi could do for you. And this is going to be the paperwork I told you about. This is going to be in the van. It is going to be a copy of the Carfax, a copy of all the repairs, because there's a lot of it has warranties and all through the manufacturers, Riley's, Dodge, that type of stuff. And then there's also a conversion valuation, which you want to give to your insurance company just to say, you know, make sure they cover what you paid for, because the conversion adds about $18,000 to what the value of this van is worth, and you want to make sure they cover that. And then there's also just a copy of the Carfax, so you have it. And you'll see the van's been, I don't know if you looked at it before or not, but the van's been really well taken care of. Most of what we did was just simply because of the age and all. You got storage compartments up here. You do have this is your power vent windows in the back. So do have all 4 here, and then your mirrors here. All 4 windows are here. Your child safety lock is there. It gets turned on. I get that panic phone call because people push this on, and all of a sudden all their windows quit working, and because it's just kind of out in the way. So if all of a sudden all of the windows stop working except for this one, a lot of times the switch got turned on. Just so you know that. I'm going to show you here in the back. This door is power also. Again, you got that button there, the handle like I just pulled, or again on the remote. I will show you here, if you're on this side, you just need to throw something in the van. The windows aren't down. If you pull the handle, nothing's going to happen, but the van's going to open and the ramp's not going to come out. Nothing else is going to work. And one thing you're going to run into, it's power door. You're gonna have a grandkid, neighbor, something, or whatever goes to get in the back. They're gonna pull this handle and start forcing this door open, and you're gonna be like, no, it's power, stop. And instead of letting go, they're gonna push it back closed. Don't ask me why, but they do it all the time. The next time you operate it for the ramp to come out, the ramp may not. Don't panic. Just run it a couple of times. It'll get its little brain back right, and you'll be fine. The other thing I try to tell people is when they change out these vans and convert them, your gas tank is now in the back here instead of in the middle where it would have been before. So they use a safe, a plastic tank that's safe and everything like that. But in the process, they use the sending unit may not be as accurate, so your gas gauge is not going to be as accurate. So you're not going to run out of gas that'll eat them a tank, but when the light comes on and you assume you have 25 or 50 miles to go, you might have 2. So don't run around on empty. I always tell people that. Your spare tires now back here, you're jacking everything over here in this corner, and you do have a little storage compartment there. Now the seats are now going to go like this. They'll fold forward and then they'll flip up. So you do have this storage compartment here. This seat over here will do the same thing. You'll see this box right here. That's the controller for all the handicap stuff. There's really nothing you need in there. There are a couple of reset buttons. If, say, the battery goes dead, all of a sudden nothing's working, you can take this little cover off. You'll see there's a couple of buttons in there you can replace, and a couple of fuses that sometimes get blown. You just have to be careful. I've had people whose kids spilled water back here and they didn't realize that it got in there. That's not good. But in general, it's up out of the way. And this will all come back down. Just pull this little handle right here. And then that will bring the seat back up. Now the seat's gonna lock in this really straight up position on its own. If you hold this a little bit longer, it will come back and be comfortable. Seat rests are, you kind of want to keep these down, otherwise you can't see out. And this is manual here. Otherwise, just a basic Dodge Grand Caravan. If you have any questions, you have my phone number. The adjustable pedals are turned off because of the hand controls. So if Levi takes these off and you want these adjustable pedals to work, he'll just see that they're unplugged underneath the dash. They just can't work with the hand controls. It won't work. So they are unplugged underneath the dash, but he'll see where it's just sitting under there. It just needs to be plugged back in. So other than that, any questions at all, just feel free to call me. I'd be happy to answer any of them.